You're listening to Mentoring Developers. What's the best advice you can give to other developers trying to get started in this career? Kasey?
Just don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't ever feel like, you have a stupid question. I find when I can't do something and I'll type in Google my question verbatim, I'll find someone asking the exact same thing. So you're never alone in having questions.
Same question for you, Divya.
I would totally agree. I think being able to ask questions or not being afraid to ask questions is a great skill. Because in some sense, like, no question is a bad question. And even being able to ask someone else a question rather than trying to figure it out. Because when you first start out, you might not know what you're trying to ask. You might not know how to phrase the question properly. And that's something that you learn as you get better at development. You know how to traverse Stack Overflow and figure out the questions that will be useful and the answers that will help you get to the right answer. And you might not have that skill at the beginning. So being able to ask somebody, as silly as a question as it may be, going to somebody else and asking them a question, is very valuable and useful.
Do you think there's such a thing as asking too many questions, though? Do you ever get that feeling that if you ask too many questions, then people are not going to respect you?
No, I don't think so. I maybe it could come across as annoying. Maybe I always get nervous that I'm asking too many questions. I might be annoying the person, but I don't think it ever comes across as you don't know what you're talking about, because you're learning, and most people are understanding. Oh, hey, they're learning, and they're excited to help you learn.
I think that's probably also true because they know the history. They know that you went through the apprenticeship program.
If you're working on a team where people tell you're asking too many questions, kind of say you shouldn't be asking too many questions, then you're probably working in the wrong place. And I guess it's just the expectation for somebody who is, 1 year into their career will probably ask a lot of questions and not know the right answers to certain things and need a lot more mentoring and direction than someone who's been in the field for, 3 years or 5 years or 10 years. And the expectation definitely is over time, as you get more experience, you'll probably ask less and less questions. But I guess the understanding is there's really, at least at Sparkbox, nobody is ever fazed by you asking too many questions. It's never even an issue, because I've seen people who are way more senior than I asking a lot of questions about projects, maybe not the technical side of things per se, but maybe how to architect a code to solve a certain problem. And we can have multiple discussions and multiple questions asked about what the best way to solve that problem is, what the most efficient way to solve that problem is. And so ultimately it's a senior developer's asking, multiple, thousands of questions about one thing, and it's not seen as a problem. So in some sense, there's really no such thing as too many questions.
That's a really good approach, I think, because you shouldn't be afraid of asking questions. It's my personal feeling is questions are always good, always welcome. But I have seen in certain organizations where questions are not welcome. Those are really toxic organizations. I think we can do a lot better as an industry. Really glad that your experiences have been really good. Sparkbox, you're doing something good. Again, you should pay me, seriously.
For show notes and transcripts, visit us at mentoringdevelopers.com.